And our last item under conduct of business is adopt a resolution approving the traffic calming toolkit guidelines for public distribution.
Honorable Mayor, Council members, good evening. Clara Fabri, Public Services Director. In 2007, in order to address growing neighborhood traffic concern, the City Council approved a comprehensive traffic calming program to better, in essence, to better and more effectively manage this program. A set of guidelines or a toolkit was developed to guide us in the implementation process of this program. To guide us includes all of the residents and all of the decision makers, including ourselves, in this process. The expected outcome from this development of this set of guidelines would be that the cost of implementation of any solution and also the implementation time of any of those solutions would be, the time would be less and the cost would be less. These design guidelines was approved last year by the Traffic Safety and Parking Committee, and two members of the Traffic Safety and Parking Committee is here, including the chair, and they will help me with any question what you might have, and I will not be able to help you with. If this guidelines will meet your approval, then this will be used as informational and educational tool for the residents and all of the decision-making process. Just in summary, this toolkit or guidelines includes three main approach: education, enforcement, and engineering. For basic solution is community outreach, high visibility crosswalk, enforcement, striping, speed display units, and restriction turn signs. For speed and safety control devices, this toolkit includes bulb outs, chokers, median, speed bumps, and traffic circles, and medians, and roundabouts. For volume control devices, the toolkit includes diverters, median barriers, and street closures. As you recall, the traffic calming program includes a process how anybody in the city, any resident, can request the consideration of implementation of any traffic calming project. And the process, how was approved by you, is for them to come to public services and to initiate the process. A decision, a first decision will be, first assessment will be made at that time, what the proper process will be to address that specific problem. If these toolkits will be approved by you tonight, then this will be available for the public on, will be placed on our website, and also will be available on hard copy at the City Hall. I would like to add, before to go to the question, I also would like to add that our financial situation is very well known, and all of these alternatives has a cost associated with them, including for those with the lowest cost, like information and education, but also law enforcement, or some of those engineering solutions are very expensive. House traffic circles or roundabouts, those are very expensive solutions. And reason why any of these requests from the public will have to go through a prioritization process and to be included in our budget based on the funding what you will approve for this program in our yearly budget approval process. If you have any question.
Any questions of our director? Irene?
Thank you. First of all, this is a fabulous idea. This was a lot of work, and I really appreciate the fact that you included actual San Bruno streets and traffic calming things that already exist. So that's great. I just have a couple of comments. As far as the format goes, on the published format, is this going to be the format you're going to use? And the reason I'm asking is there's a lot of space, and as we all age, our eyes need a little help. So it looks like there's room to make the font bigger. Okay. So if you could make it bigger, I think it would make it a little easier on everybody.
No problem.
I have a couple things. I think it's important to include the education. It's especially important to educate the kids. They always nag the parents, and it's great. I have a concern about the enforcement part. As you say, we have budget constraints. We have police personnel, not problems, but we've cut back on personnel. And I would add a comment in here that, or some kind of notice that, while we enforce law, why we do enforcement, it's not always available all the time, or some kind of comment that, I'm not sure what, but letting people know that the policemen's not going to be at every corner, at every stop sign, enforcing every traffic law around. That was one comment. And then on the page, I think it's page 12, where you have the speed bumps. I know this is the speed bump on Cypress, but on 3rd Avenue, you did the rubber speed bumps that went halfway and halfway, yes, which, by the way, are really effective. And I'm sure they didn't, well, I'm not sure, but I would imagine they didn't cost as much as the concrete ones or the asphalt ones. So is that a viable alternative to the concrete ones? And if so, maybe that could be included here if the cost is less. Do you know what maybe you weren't here when we did 3rd Avenue.
Yeah, I wasn't here, but I know what that specific project, and I don't know exactly what is the cost difference between those, but I don't think here what kind of material would be used. I think that can be included in these guidelines. I don't think the type of material used would preclude the application of any of these alternatives.
No, I was just thinking if it was less expensive, that might be just another approach.
Yes.
Okay, that was all I had. Thank you.
In response to your concern raised, I think I will just comment that one of the main benefits of these guidelines is that for each of those solutions is included the applicability and also the advantage and disadvantage. And from the beginning, everybody who is looking at those possibilities will have a better understanding and expectation what problem with what kind of solution is more appropriate to address. And I will think about how to include a general disclaimer in the beginning or at the end to make sure that is not the public is not raised a public expectation which will not be able to be met, knowing our budget limitation, to make sure that will be clearly stated that depending on the available internal resources and financial resources.
Great, thank you. That's what I was trying to get at.
Okay.
Through the chair, that was one of my comments, and I think both of you summarized it correctly. The raising the expectations is always my concern. You put out something, they say, well, you have it, you've given us options, and now you're saying you can't do it. So what was the point of it? Obviously, we're going to have to deal with our budget, and we'll be working on that very soon to see. But as far as staff and as far as overall dollars and able to do a lot of these traffic calming measures, maybe limited. And the only other, on a side note, and I brought this up already, when we have traffic calming toolkit, I'm just looking at the word toolkit. I don't know, I can't tell you off the top of my head if there's a better word for that, and maybe Mr. Wood or Mr. Hamilton have a reason for why that was used, or maybe you do, but I don't know. I was just trying to think of a more viable word other than toolkit.
Maybe it's just a techie word, what the traffic professionals are using for some kind of already ready set of solutions. And I was using always toolkit that, like with any other trade, you just have certain tools doing your job. And the job is calming the traffic and to change driver behavior. Here, to do it, they are different solutions, and each of those solutions are tools available to you. And that's maybe is the techie explanation to it. That's why I tried, this concern was raised before the meeting by others, and that's why I came up with these more guidelines that all of us are more used to it with development guidelines, design guidelines. These are in essence the same kind of solution-oriented, certain standard applications.
Just a comment, you can all think about it.
And we do have a couple of members of the Traffic Safety and Parking Committee. Would you like to say anything further on this?
My name is Eric Wood. I'm the chair of the Traffic Safety and Parking Committee. In regard directly, Toolkit that's how it came to us. So we just didn't even address that. We went right into the material. We like it because, like, when I first came on the board, I wanted to put speed bumps on my street, and I didn't know. I was like, okay, I want speed bumps because they're driving so fast. And what we wanted to do is be able to give the citizens the tools or the options that they have to mitigate traffic issues and other things on their street or block or area. And for us, it was important. I like the fact that it does have a cost associated with it, because then it puts the onerous on the people. So when they're coming to us and they're asking us the questions, hey, we want a stop sign here, or we want this, and we're like, well, it doesn't warrant it, or we don't have the budget for it, or we looked at it and we just can't implement it, we can at least give them something and allow them to do their own research and look at it and go see the other areas. But my suggestion on the word toolkit is let it come back to us. You guys accept it, and we can talk about it in the committee. Then it doesn't have to come back to you guys. And if we want to change it, give us that ability to at least change that word, because we can talk about it among the committee. I like the word, but maybe it is too technical.
Sounds good.
Thank you, and we never pass up the opportunity to thank our boards, commissions, and committees. You guys are doing a great job, and this is a big part of it.
Thank you.
So, any action by the council?
I'd love to, is it adopt a resolution or pass it?
Resolution.
I'd love to introduce the resolution. It's very exciting.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Councilmember Medina.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Salazar.
Aye.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye.